So we're just chilling around there. This place is crazy with tourists today. Oh, Lord, is it. It is really crazy. And they're paving roads. The city's going to be absolutely fabulous when they're done. Between the construction and the roads and the bus lanes and the bike lanes. And it's going to be fabulous. But the front doors are wide open and they're giving tours. There's a really, really long line down on 15th Street. Oh, good grief. Look over here. Look over here. I have a lot to go over, so I'll just give it a minute. But look what we have down here today. Good morning, young man. See, this phone is going to shake. Ugh. I disputed it, but we'll see. Thank you so much for your service, young man. Good morning. Nice to see you there, finally. It has been a while, hasn't it, guys? Oops, I'm like paying attention to him and not what I'm pointing at. See, look sharp there. I would love to be able to show you guys how they... oh, wait a minute. How they change. Is that what they're doing? Oh, look. Oh, he just went in. Oh, look.
They're changing guard now. You see that? You see that? Changing guard. They salute each other.
Oh, my gosh. I'm sorry, it's shaking. Can you believe that just happened? I was just wishing for the change of the guard, and boom, there it was. Oh my gosh. Well, so far I've had an amazing day here. All right, so that was amazing. I wish it was my other phone, but okay. So, all right, so a lot of things that, okay, so let me just go over like this morning here, and then I'll talk about what else I wanted to talk about. But so the National Guard, the parking lots are full. I did not see those two big, like dump truck looking military vehicles there that were there yesterday. I don't know why they were there. I don't know where they are now, but they're not there today. The buses are still not there as well. Just a few minutes ago, there were 4 Helos squirrels circling this area. We saw 4 yesterday. I saw 4 today. Now, I was driving, so it was really hard to get a good look at them. They appeared to be the Skorskys with one chaperone, and I didn't recognize that helicopter because I was driving. But I saw them like circling this area. I was over down by the water, and then I came up here. They were still circling, so I snapped a few pics of them. What else? It's Police Appreciation Week here, so I was just able to see like the horses, the park police horses. I snapped some pics of those. I'll share those. And I just saw about 100 motorcycles come down 17th Street from different areas too. And I snapped a couple of pics of those. It's too late to grab a video of it, but that was incredibly beautiful. I loved it. So we'll see what happens here tomorrow. Remember, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, we saw all the horses that were brought in here from all the different areas. It was really incredible. And they're setting up something over at the Capitol. I'm wondering if that's what that is on the west side. They're setting up some tents and things like that. So that could be for police appreciation as well. I did also notice that they're setting up for something in the National Mall. They've got a stage. Not sure what that is. I haven't looked into it yet, but I will look into that and see what that is. So I wanted to bring up something. I watched that interview last night. That was disgraceful. That interview on CNN was disgraceful. I mean, she could not have been any more rude. I had to really bite my tongue just to get through the interview. The interruptions were ridiculous. It was an embarrassment. I was embarrassed for her. And to me, I believe it's optics. You're welcome to believe what you want. I believe it's optics. But the interruptions were absolutely unbelievable. I could not believe how rude she was. She was putting words in his mouth. She was trying to bring conclusions for him. It was just, and the people in the audience, she was even interrupting him while he was trying to answer their questions. It was just extremely hard for me to watch, but I did finish watching it. One thing I wanted to, and I was reminded of it while I was watching the interview. And I know I'm just pointing at nothing, but you don't want to see my ugly mug, so I'll just point at nothing. So she brought up Georgia a couple times when they were talking about the election, and she was insisting that there was no election fraud, okay? She brought up Georgia a couple times. Now, let me tell you a little story, and it's probably been a while since I've talked about this. So this was May 7th of 2021. And I'm going to drop my Telegram link so people can go back. I've been juggled all over Facebook accounts. My stuff's all over the place. It's not in any order, and it really irks me. And I actually lost, the first 5 months or so that I was here because it disabled my account and I didn't have the video saved. So I'm really pissed about that. But Telegram goes all the way back to, I believe, April of 2021, and it's all in order. And for those who are just following me and it seems like nothing's happening here, it's not really. But if you can go on Telegram, and like I said, I'll put that link up, you can go back and see what took place here, especially for the first year that I was here. And it was a lot. So what happened on May 7th, 2021, it was a Friday. Came up here later in the afternoon. It was very, very cold. It was pouring rain. And this place, I was over at the south side of the White House, standing on Constitution Avenue where I always film the flights. And there was going to be a flight here. I think it was about 5 or 6 in the afternoon, something like that. And this place was crazy with security. I'm talking crazy with security. I've never seen that much security here ever again. And the week leading up to that was very, very crazy around here. I mean, they even had marshals over at Union Station. 9 days before that was Biden's 100th day speech, quote unquote. And that was when they had this city engulfed in marshals and different, you just have to go back and look at that time period to see what I'm talking about. But anyhow, what I wanted to tell you was that, I was standing over there on Constitution Avenue where I always stand. I was the only person out there because it's cold and raining. Nobody was out there. And I was wearing my Q sweatshirt. That sweatshirt's gotten me in trouble a couple times, but it's gotten me some good stuff a couple of times too. So, but I was live and I was standing there, and the next thing you knew, one of the older Secret Service agents that was standing there, he came and he walked by me. He looked at my shirt and he could hear me all live and talking about the security and how exciting it was and all that. And he said, he said something to the effect of, pretty exciting, isn't it? Or pretty awesome, isn't it? He said something like that after he looked at my sweatshirt. And he knew that I knew what he was saying. And that got me even more excited. Well, a few minutes later, the next thing you know, they close off parking all along Constitution Avenue at a particular time for rush hour. So you can't park there like you can during the day. Well, the next thing you know, I'm standing there in the pouring rain, freezing my butt off, and this black SUV pulls up. And it parks there. And it on the side of that black SUV was one of those, it was either a sticker or a magnet. I'm not sure. I didn't go up and try to pick it off. But it said Georgia election officials. Okay? And 4 people got out of that SUV and they came over and they stood next to me while I shot that live. Now, what were Georgia election officials doing here? And that was when all kinds of crap was hitting the fan at the Capitol. I mean, it was just crazy at the time here. So I wanted to bring that up because, you know, this all, and we haven't seen it yet, but this all has been addressed. It's been addressed, and there was election fraud. And I mean, I don't know when we're going to get it. I don't. I wish I knew. I'm tired myself, guys, but you know, it is what it is. But I wanted to bring that up because they literally stood there, 4 Georgia election officials were here in DC at that particular time for that particular flight. And that, like I said, that flight was the most incredible one I've seen here, security-wise. And actually, the people stood outside in the rain, that they lined up. It's when they still had everything closed off and they were using the ellipse instead of the south lawn to land them. And the people stood in that freezing cold rain for, I don't know, an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. It was a very, very long time. We all stood out there in that pouring rain. So I wanted to bring that up because she kept, you know, talking about Georgia. But that interview was absolutely insane. And I really think that, you know, there are people out there that looked at that interview and was like, that was insane. That was not right. Even people that probably don't care for Trump a whole lot, I'm sure that they looked at that and thought to themselves, you know, a good journalist would not interview Trump and be so damn rude and cut him off as many times as she did. So I really believe that it probably helped to get some attention of people. You know, even if it's only a group of people, we need that group of people to pay attention and to start seeing how messed up things are. So let me see if he's still here. I don't know about you, but it was just insane. I was really biting my tongue trying to finish that interview. But he handled it really well, didn't he? Until he said she was a nasty person. But she deserved that. I'm sorry. She deserved that. And it's funny because, I'll say one more thing and then I'll get ready to shut down. But it's funny because I don't watch CNN. I used to, like, religiously until about 8 years ago. And I watched yesterday morning an interview of Anderson Cooper interviewing the lady that is, you know, accusing Trump of all of this sexual abuse. Well, her story, if you go back and look at that interview, her story does not add up. I mean, she's trying to sit there and say that she's at this amazing department store, you know, that offers to their, you know, caters to their people's every need. And yet there was not one person on that floor that day. She says there's not one person. But anyhow, Anderson Cooper treated her like with the utmost respect. He was very considerate of her speaking, didn't interrupt, didn't anything. And then I see this interview last night where Trump was so disrespected. And I thought, okay, you see how this works? It's definitely a double-tiered system in every way, shape, and form. You know, and it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it's got to stop. So, I think last night was all for optics, in my opinion. All right. Enough rambling. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I saw already. Oh, the flags over at the American History Museum are not back yet. They're not back yet. So, I did see somebody comment that they've been hung in Texas, but I don't know. I haven't seen any, like, you know, confirmation or proof of that, you know, and I'm one of those people, I really want to see some, like, you know, confirmation, some pics that they're hanging or whatever, but they aren't here. So, all right, let me, not a whole lot going on at the Capitol, but I will go over there and take a peek at things, but I'm gonna look around and just see about the police stuff, if they're set up anywhere, anything, good to look at. But it's so crowded up here and the traffic's insane, so I might just get out of here. But I'll play it by ear, so. All right, guys, I love you. That's enough of my rambling. I'll see you soon.